Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Christmas week, and this is episode 3 of Ask Chris. I'm going to go through my questions for the week. Each week, I put out a request for questions on Instagram and on YouTube, and people ask me stuff, and I answer it all here. All right, guys, so the first thing I want to cover today is the Mastermind training group, and I never promote any of my own stuff here on this YouTube channel, but this is a really good deal. I'm giving away a 30-day free trial to the Mastermind training group. I'll put a link in the description box below, and I'll put the promo code there, which is free trial. You get 30 days for free, and if for any reason you don't like it after those 30 days, you just cancel, and you don't. And the buttons are very clear there on the website. You'll be able to cancel at any time and not pay a dime for it after those 30 days. Or if you want to continue, you can continue going. It's a very low price of $14.99. What do I have on there? I've been trying to put a lot of value into this project. It's my pet fitness project right now. We have a full discussion forum. You can ask me questions anytime. Several times a week, I'm uploading private videos, basically helping my members reconstruct their plans, reconstruct their nutrition, discussing different nutritional concepts that come up. I also have a lot of different workouts up there. I have a fat burning series. I have a muscle building series. I have a strength building series, and I have a beginner series. And I'm adding new stuff each month to the site so that my members get every single thing they want. I also construct plans based on request. Anytime my members asked for anything, I just created a busy guys training plan. That's only 3 days a week, but covers all the bases. All of that's up there. Of course, all these are available individually on my website, chrisalbertfitness.com, for purchase, but you get all of them for one single price on the Mastermind training group. I'm not looking for everyone. I'm putting this out there, but I know a lot of you aren't going to sign up. I just want people who want to work with me, and that's why I'm putting it out there. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm always going to be putting free information out here on my YouTube channel, but I can't take as many one-on-one clients as I did before. I have 2 different businesses I have to run, and I still want to contribute to this fitness community, and so I came up with a very affordable and very valuable way to work with people. So with that, let's get into the show. So Dare to Be King asks, can intermittent fasting principles be applied to a low-carb diet? Any benefit to experimenting with this? Yes, you can leverage ketosis with intermittent fasting if you want, and in a lot of ways this will help. There are a few things you need to be cognizant of. The first is this: you got to watch out for your total caloric intake. All right, so you need to make sure that you are at least reaching your baseline calories, whether you're keto or not, in order to make sure that your energy levels are sustained throughout the day, that you're able to think, so that you're not constantly getting headaches after you get into ketosis, and so that you have enough energy to work out and to fuel your body for performance. But that being said, intermittent fasting can be a great way to leverage keto and to really enjoy foods later in the day. For those of you who are more interested in a cyclical ketogenic diet where you're backloading carbs after your workout, then intermittent fasting could be a good protocol to combine with that, because you are going to be doing your workouts in a low glycogen state, using fat for fuel, and then you'll be good and insulin sensitive by the time you're going to be eating your carbohydrates later in the day. So yeah, this could be a really good way to introduce some flexibility to a diet, to introduce some creativity, and a good way to remain in ketosis while eating some carbs and doing a cyclical ketogenic diet. I myself, I do a form of intermittent fasting, but I don't do it all the time. I'll have some weeks where I'll fast, and then I'll have some weeks when I do not fast because I feel like I need a little bit more nutrition in the mornings. And so basically what I'll do is I'll probably do 2 weeks where I'm not fasting, and then do a week where I'm doing a little bit of a fast every day and not eating until after my workouts. The other thing you need to be cognizant of is if you're fasting for too long, then that can have a negative impact on your thyroid hormones. You just want to make sure, again, that you're getting enough calories over the day. So I hope that answers that question. Stephen Cam asks, what are the best weighted exercises to increase sprint speed? Good question, Stephen. The biggest thing you have to realize about a sprint is that it is a hip extension movement, right? So every time you're coming down, you are trying to extend the hip. So knowing that, we have to think about what exercises are going to make us better at hip extending and more explosive. And those would be squats and deadlifts, right? Squats and deadlifts are probably the best exercises to help you to increase your speed on a sprint. And I know guys like trainers like Louis Simmons who've worked with Olympic sprinters and have increased their times or decreased their times. I know he's worked with several backfield players for the NFL, and he has also increased their sprint times. And so squats and deadlifts are absolutely excellent exercises for doing this. You could also do lunges, and you could do agility drills and things like that, but nothing's going to increase your speed and explosiveness like the ability to carry your own weight. And so that's a very simple answer. Nothing complicated there. There's no tricks or anything like that. But you know, and one other thing I guess I should say, you can also do sled exercises as an assistance exercise, or for athletes who have a season, like football players, for example. You're not going to be able to get in the gym all the time during your season, and probably it's a bit counterproductive for you to be in the gym lifting weights and doing eccentric repetitions during the season. So for athletes who have a season, like football players, during that season, you really want to focus on movements that don't have an eccentric portion of the lift. And so that's where sled work comes in. That's where using the prowler, that's where sled drags come in. That's where running with a parachute comes in. So for those of you who do have a season, I would separate it into phases. In your off season, focus on squats and deadlifts. And then during the season, focus on those non-eccentric movements, working with the sled, working with the prowler, and even the deadlift is a non-eccentric movement and is not going to cause that much degeneration in muscle mass. But you know, just make sure that you're not doing the negative on that. And that's very opposite from bodybuilding, where we want to focus on the eccentric and we want to focus on doing things as slow as possible. For athletes, we want to do things as fast and explosive as possible. Hope that's clear. Let's move on to the next question. And that brings me to my next question. What are my thoughts on Westside / the conjugate system? Basically, for those of you who don't know, that is a system out of Westside Barbell developed by Louis Simmons, who is a powerlifting coach. He's coached some of the strongest athletes in the world after they've been broken and injured, and brought them back to life to achieve record-breaking lifts. He's got a shitload of elite powerlifters that he's made. What are my thoughts on it? I think that it is an awesome system. The work he's put into it, the thought processes that he's put into it, the man is a freaking genius. He's based it off of Eastern philosophies, and it is probably the preeminent system for creating an elite powerlifter. Now, notice what I said, the preeminent system for creating an elite powerlifter or a top of the line powerlifter. Most of you who are watching this though are not elite powerlifters, and you've never totaled elite, so you wouldn't be allowed in Westside Barbell, right? Because Louis' gym is by invitation only. So what I would say is that if you are considering doing Westside or considering doing the conjugate system, you first have to have some sort of base of strength, and that means you've totaled elite a few times already. You already have a lot of accomplishments under your belt, If you have not, then Westside's gonna be a little bit too much for you. It is super fucking intense. I've tried it and I was brain dead basically the entire time. So what I would say for the rest of you, I would be working a beginner program or an intermediate program before you ever try something like this. I would have a few championships under my belt. I would have a few elite totals under my belt before you try conjugate system. And when you do try the conjugate system, don't try it on your own. Hire a fucking expert to help you through it, because if you're doing something that advanced, you really need somebody who knows what they're doing on your team. And until you're willing to invest that much into your lifting, which all those guys from Westside Barbell have, they basically move to Ohio, get invited into the gym, then you shouldn't be doing it. So unless you have, you're either getting coached by Louis Simmons or you have a Westside certified trainer who's working with you, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I'm not a Westside certified person, so don't ask me. So my bro CGY Hoops asks, when you stopped bodybuilding for the Spartan race training, how did your body respond coming back to bodybuilding? Would you recommend fully changing up training styles once in a while? I'm going to start with the Olympic lifts, snatch, clean jerk training for a while. So far feels great and my body is loving the change. Good question, man. So the biggest reason why I did the Spartan race was because I actually wanted to do something different. I started to find bodybuilding and powerlifting fucking boring. And I was in the gym and I was lifting a lot of weight. I think, last year I was squatting 405 pounds for like 8 repetitions, and I was only 190 pounds. And I was really strong, but I was doing the same goddamn thing every week, week in and week out. The other thing I was starting to notice was that my work capacity was going down. I was getting completely winded after sets, and I felt brain dead after every workout. So I felt like my body really, really needed to change. And so that's why I decided to do a Spartan race. I wanted to have a new adventure, a new challenge. And so that's when I got into it. The benefits from doing it, I think, were this. One, my work capacity is a lot better now. I breathe a lot easier. I can get through workouts no problem. Recently, while I'm training for this classic physique show, I'm doing some hardcore circuits, like all barbell circuits. And I'm going to put some videos up about that in a bit. But I'm getting through those no problem now, and I don't feel brain dead throughout the day, and that's because I think I went through that conditioning phase. What I've been trying to do with my training over the last few years is I separate my training into quarters, just like financial quarters. So over 3 months, I'll work on hypertrophy, and then over 3 months, I'll work on strength, and then I'll work on total body conditioning, and then I'll either go back to strength or continue working on hypertrophy, depending on where my goals are and where I'm at. I think periodizing my training in this way has helped me develop overall. And if you notice, I'm a lot bigger this year than I was at this time last year, lifting a lot more weight. And I attribute that to 2 different things. One, I attribute it to having switched up my training, having taken care of a lot of the different muscle imbalances by doing more functional training during the Spartan race, and eliminating those muscle imbalances has helped me to focus more on the muscles that I want to work while I'm doing bodybuilding. And 2, I attribute it to the ketogenic diet, going very, very low carb, which has allowed me to have better muscle retention during this diet phase for my show. And it's helped me to keep muscle mass on and build muscle mass at the same time while I'm burning fat. So that's where I am with that. And again, I do recommend changing your training up every once in a while. You don't want to change it up every month. You don't want to change it up every 2 weeks. I think quarters are good, every 3 months doing something different. And that can be as big as switching from bodybuilding to doing Spartan race, or that could be switching from doing a slow strength-based program to doing a more aesthetics-based fat-burning program. So we got an ulcerative colitis question here. Johnny White Studio asks, I have ulcerative colitis and I've been told that taking supplements, creatine and protein, would be unwise as my liver is already working overtime on the meds. What are your views on bodybuilding supplements and IBD treatment? First things first, again, I'm not a doctor and I don't pretend to be one. So above everything I say here, I'm just giving my perspective as someone who has ulcerative colitis on what I would be doing and what I would be taking and what to watch out for. Consult your doctor beyond anything I say here. So thinking about bodybuilding supplements in ulcerative colitis, you have a couple of different precarious situations there. One, here's the big thing I want to say for everyone out there. Protein supplements and creatine supplements are not hepatotoxic, and actually studies have demonstrated that even concerns about higher levels of creatinine and kidney function are probably a bit overstated. I don't want to say that there's not a concern there, but I want to say that those concerns are probably a bit overstated by the media and by several different venues, and the studies have demonstrated that. What I would say for anyone who has ulcerative colitis in particular, you want to pay attention to every single thing that you put in your body and see how you react to it. So for example, whey protein may not be liver toxic, but you may have an allergy to it. And the biggest thing you have to be concerned with when you have an autoimmune disease like ulcerative colitis is inflammation. And anything that you put in your body that you have an allergy to, whether it's a low-level allergy or a high-level allergy, is going to cause inflammation and could cause you to go into a flare-up. So if you're lactose intolerant and you have ulcerative colitis, or if you're lactose intolerant in general, I really wouldn't be taking whey protein. As far as creatine goes, no, it's not hepatotoxic, but again, it has been known to cause digestive distress. And going into a bout of diarrhea when you have ulcerative colitis can definitely put a damper on your health and could send you into a new flare-up. What would I be concerned with if I had ulcerative colitis? Well, one, if you're bleeding, you want to get your iron levels checked. Make sure that you're not anemic. If you are, you need to be supplementing with iron. Two, I'd be concerned with my zinc levels and my testosterone levels. If you have low levels of zinc in your blood, then I'd be supplementing with zinc in order to get my testosterone levels back up to normal. Three, vitamin D. If you have ulcerative colitis, you are probably vitamin D deficient. And so if you have low levels of vitamin D, you need to be supplementing with vitamin D, probably about 35 IU per pound of body weight to get yourself back up to normal levels. And then beyond that, in anti-inflammatory supplements like turmeric, omega-3s, things that are going to shut down that fire that's in your body that's causing the disease in the first place. In addition to that, if you are on one of the more severe medications, like Humira, I would be supplementing with a liver support like N-acetylcysteine, because those medications are very, very toxic. I've actually told my doctor to go fuck himself when he tried to put me on it, but that's me, and you need to listen to your doctor. Don't listen to the advice of some nincompoop here on YouTube who's sitting here in a green shirt in his home office. So the other things I would say is this, and this goes for anyone, you need to consistently be concerned with what your nutritional bases require, and you need to do your homework on yourself. Go and get your blood checked, quantify yourself, figure out where your deficiencies lie, rather than relying on really colorful labels with jacked ass dudes on them and buying your supplements that way. So quantify yourself, understand what your requirements are, and then purchase from there based off of that knowledge. Don't rely on marketing. Don't rely on the popular bodybuilding publications or anything like that. They'll just lead you down the wrong. So my last question is a little bit off topic. It is not a fitness question. It comes from a young man who is a musician, and he loves playing music, and he's got a band, and he's very young, but he's got a girlfriend. He's been with her for about a year now, and he loves her very much. And she doesn't like the fact that he's a musician. She wants him to get a more secure job, go to college, get a degree. But he still loves music, and he's finding himself at this crossroads where he doesn't want to get rid of his girlfriend, but he also doesn't want to give up his passion for music. And this is the thing, and this is a really hard question to answer, but I'm going to do my best. And my advice is this: you have to look at your soul. You have to look at your soul, and you have to ask, who am I? What do I want to be? Who do I want to be, more importantly? Not what I want to be. Who do I want to be? Not everybody has it within their DNA to pursue their dreams. A lot of us have dreamed about being all kinds of different things, including myself, and we gave up on those dreams. But you also have to think about it like this. We're on this rock spinning through space, and we're only here for a limited amount of time. And while you're young, yeah, you feel like that time is forever. You feel like you have your whole life ahead of you. And you want to make things happen very quickly. But you have to ask yourself, how do I want to spend my time here? Do I want to spend my time, my limited time, doing things for other people and following other people's dreams? Or do I want to spend the little amount of time while I'm here on this planet doing what I love? Now, for me, that choice is simple. I'm not going to waste one fucking second, 1 millisecond doing something I don't want to do. And I've sacrificed a lot for that. I've lived out of my car. I've lived off of minimal money. I've lied awake at nights wondering what the hell I was going to do to pay bills. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade in any of it for the world. Because today, I do what I love. Because I went through that hard experience, I'm able to do what I love. I follow my own rules. I don't have a boss. I wear what I want. I do everything that I want to do. And everything that I do is in the pursuit of my dreams. So, again, that's me. You have to look in you. And you have to say to yourself, do I want to be a musician? Do I really want to be a musician? Am I willing to put in the work? Am I willing to give up the weekends? Am I willing to sacrifice all my social time? And if you are, then awesome. Do it. Get out there. If you're not, and you're not strong enough to do it, it's fine. It's completely honorable to go and get a secure job and to sit behind a desk and to spend your weekends bowling and going to the movies. But if there's even an inkling of yourself that is going to wonder for the rest of your life what would have happened, if there's an inkling of yourself that really loves music and wants to pursue this dream, then you're a fool if you give that up. And you're a fool if you don't tell your girlfriend to, if she wants something secure, to go find a fucking accountant, or go find a fucking lawyer, or to go find somebody else who is willing to fucking put up with her shit and fucking sacrifice themselves for her identity in order to satisfy her fucking insecurity as to what existence in this fucking Western world entails. So again, that choice is up to you. I have my truth. I'm not going to impose my truth on you. That's my perspective on it. I'm not saying your girlfriend's a bad person. I'm just saying that if you have certain specific values for what you want in your own life, then maybe her values don't match up with yours, and maybe you should take the risk and pursue your fucking dream.